Hello, and welcome back to lesson number 28, where we're going to talk about similarity and transformations. Please remember that there's only one type of transformation that we talked about that results in similar figures. All the rest result in congruent figures, and we've proven triangles congruent using side, 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 angle, side, angle, angle, side, and angle, side, angle. Today we're going to learn some proofs or some theorems that prove that two triangles are similar. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started. Hopefully you have finished this activity to review some rules, some transformation rules that we learned back in the day. Sure, I need my pen. Here it is. All right, so we got this triangle, and this is our pre-image, and you can see that its coordinates are here, here, and here, labeled A is at -610, B is at -2,4, and C is at -9,4. So let's say we're going to take this image and we're going to rotate it 180 degrees. Remember, 180 degree turn, it doesn't matter which direction you go, but you're going to land in two coordinates. So this will be a 90 degree clockwise, then you're at 180, or you could do a 90 counterclockwise and then you're at 180. And the rule was -x, y. So you're going to take these coordinates. If 6 was negative, it's now going to become +6, -10, which should end up here. And you always want to label your new point, so that's A prime. B was at -2,4, so it's going to go to +2, -4, which is about here. And I'll call that B prime. And then C is at 9, -4. 9, -4, which would be here. Okay, so I love 180 degree rotations because they're pretty simple. So there's where my new triangle is. Makes sense. And obviously his smile's upside down, and so are his eyes. All right, so next we're going to reflect across the y-axis. This right here is the y-axis. So the x is going to change, but the y is going to stay exactly the same. So here I'm going to notice that B is at +2, -4. It's going to go over to -2, -4. And I see A is at +6. So this is my new B. And I'm going to put two prime symbols. Is at +6, so it's going to go to -6, -10. That's A double prime. And then C is at +9, so it's going to go to -9, -4. So now my guy's over here, and again he's still got an upside down smile and his eyes are upside down. All right, now we are going to take this figure here and we're going to translate it with the rule 5, 3. So we're going to go to the right 5 and we're going to go up 3 since both of these are positive. And I did the math and I should be at 3, -1, -1, -7, and -4, -1 right here. So now we're here. And again, that's still A, B, and C. And now we're going to dilate it by a scale factor of 2. Please note this triangle is exactly the same size in each of these pictures because neither a rotation, reflection, nor a translation changes the size. But now when we dilate it, this is when we get a similar figure. So you just take all your coordinates and multiply them by 2. So 3, -1 will now be at 6, -2. -1, -7 is now -2, -14, which is going to be down here somewhere. And then -4 turns to -8, -1 to -2. So now my new triangle is twice the size of the original, which means his smile is going to be twice as big and his eyes are twice as big as well. Okay, so you should have ended up something like this. Now this figure here and this figure here are similar. And that means that they have the same angle measures, but the side lengths change by a scale factor of 2. So this side right here was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 long. Now it's going to be 14 long. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 11, 12, 13, 14. Okay. Now, which transformations preserve congruence For the pre-image, well, that's what we talked about, the translation, the rotation, and the reflection. Which preserves similarity? Well, all of them, but the dilation is the one we're looking for. And you know that the dilation is similar in example 4 because we just proved, like, using this side because it's the easiest one because it's straight across, had the scale factor of 2. And if you did the distance formula to find the length of these sides as well, you would notice that they all have a scale factor of 2 as well. All right, so two figures are similar if one of if they undergo a transformation that multiplies the distance by the same positive scale factor, and we call this a dilation. So you'll notice that each of these side lengths grew by a scale factor of times 2. Therefore, they're all similar. And you'll also notice the angle measures are marked because the angles don't change, just the distances of the sides, the lengths of the sides change. And so there's three theorems that we can use to prove that two triangles are similar, and one is SSS. So it's similar to congruent triangles. However, you'll notice the side lengths aren't the same, they're proportional. Okay, so if you can put them all into a proportion and get the same ratio, the same scale factor, then you know they're similar. So for example, if I look at this diagram right here, this is a 3, 4, 5, and remember I like to label it small, middle, and large, so I know how to set up my proportion. So over here I gotta look, this is small, middle, and large. So this would be 3 over 6, which is my small size. My middle sides are 4 over 8, and my large sides are 5 over 10. And so I just simplify this. In every case, I get 3 over 6 is 1/2, 4 over 8 is 1/2, and 5 over 10 is 1/2. So from DEF, the small triangle, ooh, I got to look at this because I almost made a mistake. From the small triangle to the big triangle, you multiply by 2. But to go from the big triangle to the small triangle, then it would be 1/2. So if this was flip-flopped, then it'd be 1/2. Just saying. Okay, another postulate that we're going to talk about is AA. So if two angles in one triangle are congruent to the two angles in the second triangle, you can conclude they're similar. You can't conclude they're congruent, but you can conclude that the two triangles are similar. So if you notice, angle B is congruent to angle Y. Angle B is congruent to angle Y. And you can say that angle Z is congruent to angle C. Angle C is congruent to angle Z. So then you can say that, yes, these are going to be angle-angle theorem. So yes, they are similar. You can't say they're congruent, though. We don't know that information. All right, now over here, you'll notice that this triangle has angle T and angle V. They've been marked 90 degrees. All 90-degree angles are congruent. So yes, you can say that this is angle-angle as well. And clearly, you can figure out what the third angle is simply by adding and subtracting from 180, or just simply by taking 37 minus 90. That could give you, and you'll notice that they have to be the same. The angle measures have to be the same in both. Okay, so this says, go ahead and graph this image after a dilation with a scale factor of 2/3. So you're going to multiply all the coordinates by 2/3, okay? And this will bring us to 2/3 of 3 is 2, so that goes to here. So this is at 2, 4. Because 2/3 of 6 is 4, and this is at 4, 0. And so my new image, whoops, will be, those are terrible lines. I'm sorry, that doesn't even look like a triangle, but pretend it is. It should look something like that. And again, you can say that it's the angle-angle theorem because the angles have not changed. Just the side lengths have decreased by 2/3. And again, you could prove it by using the distance formula and finding the distance of the diagonal. Go ahead and try these examples on your own, pause the video, and see if you can prove that they are congruent by angle, angle. Well, when I look at example number 2, I know that this is a bow tie, and these are vertical angles. So therefore, this angle is going to be congruent, and this angle is going to be congruent. So yes, this is angle, angle. And you can list angle R is going to be congruent to angle V, and angle WSR is going to be congruent to VSB. We can't prove they're congruent, but we can prove they're similar. All right, here I've got a 30 here and a 70 here. And here I've got this 85. So I need to find what this missing angle is here. Well, 30 plus 70 is 100. So I know that this angle here has to be 80 degrees. And the one that corresponds to it in this triangle is 85. So this, no, they're not going to be congruent because they don't have two angle measures that are congruent. All right, again, I have to find my missing angle here. And so I'm going to take 90 minus 39 and see if I get 51. And if I do, then I'm golden. And I have, so this becomes 8, so that's 10. What is that? 9 minus 10 is 1, and that's 51. So yes, these are congruent by angle, angle, because I know that the two angles are going to correspond. This one has to be 51 degrees, therefore I've got two angles that are matching. All right, and here, this is a reminder of isosceles triangle. So if this is 68, then this is 68, right? So then I got to figure out 68 plus 68 is 136. So I'm going to take 180 minus 136, and I get, let's see, this becomes 10, that's 7. I get 44. And because, so now I've got 62 over here, so I'm going to do 180 minus 62. 180 minus 62, let's see. That's 7, and that's 10. So that's going to be 2 from 10 is 8. 6 from 7 is 1, so that's 118. 118 divided by 2, because I know these two angles are going to be the same, right? So that's 59. So those would both be 59 degrees, and that's not going to be true because we needed them to be 68. So no, these angles are not congruent. All right, so now we've learned if all the sides are proportional, you can prove two triangles are congruent. If the angles are proportional, the second is SAS. If you have one congruent angle and two proportional sides, you can prove the triangles are congruent as well. And so again, I like to label my sides. So this is the short side and this is the long side or the medium side. I'm not sure in this case. This is short and long. So I'm going to do 16 or 12 over 16 and see if that is equal to 15 over 20. And then my angles that I have congruent to each other are angle G and angle E. So let's see. 12 over 16 equals 15 over 20. Well, this simplifies, both of these simplify to 3 over 4. So yes, this checks out, and I can do side, angle, side. Go ahead and try example 2 and 3. See if you can set up similar proportions, and we'll come back in 1 second. Please remember for example 2, the whole side length here for the big triangle is 10, and the whole side length here is 15. You notice the short side is 8 over the longer side, which is 12, and that would be 10 over 15. That's a scale factor of 2/3, and you can see that angle K here is overlapping in both triangles. Whereas in this problem, angle A is overlapping, and again, you set up the same ratio and you get 3 over 4. So all three of these triangles can be proven by side, angle, side. You can go ahead and finish your activity and the homework. Make sure you have these answers, and then here is